FNAF Security Breach Ruin is called Security Breach Ruin because the place is in ruin. But that is just as true for the animatronics as it is for the actual location. Today, we're going to be talking about the fates of every FNAF Security Breach Ruin animatronic and how the DLC has basically shown their animatronic lives, or whatever you want to call them, have turned into ruin. So, first up, we'll get the easy one out of the way first. Freddy. Princess Quest ending is quite clearly the canon ending. So if that's the case, then we know what happens to Freddy in Security Breach. He gets, ripped apart by the staff bots. And Freddy's head goes with Gregory and Vanessa when they escape the Pizzaplex. And then the rest of the body is just left in the pizzeria, all broken. We see what happens to Freddy. He just lays there, and then Cassie shows up, sees Freddy, and then Freddy chases her away. So, and then later on, you don't see Freddy ever again. So, he just hangs out in Phaser Blast, I guess. But also, the crucial thing is that a lot of people overlooked is that it is definitely the same Freddy, because in Security Breach, when Vanny's running around, Freddy doesn't see her until he gets Roxy's eyes. And when you wear the Vanny mask in Ruin, when you go past Freddy, what happens? He doesn't see you. Wow, mind blown. But that's not the main point of discussion for this episode. Mainly the fate of each animatronic. So Freddy's just there, chases Cassie, and then just hangs around. Probably just walks around and then shuts down eventually. I don't know. But you never see him again. So either he's hanging out in Phaser Blast, or he just deactivates. I don't know. Moving on to Monty. Hey, Monty. So, in Ruin, obviously, it's just the parts of Monty that aren't broken. So, literally just his top half. So, he just flies around like an old crocodile alligator, And whenever there's an area with water or needs a fast boy, Monty's there to please. And Monty is still just as aggressive as he was. And because the Glitch Trap is defeated, there'd be less influence over the animatronics from the Glitch Trap virus, because the Glitch Trap is gone. Maybe the Mimic might have a little bit of control, but I don't think that's the case, because the Mimic was trapped in the first place. But anyway, it just kind of goes to show that Monty was always aggressive, and that he definitely killed Bonnie, like Glamrock Bunny. But that's another topic I'm not delving into today. Maybe eventually, but definitely not today. But yeah, once Monty gets into another water area where I think it's just before Roxy. Yeah, just before the Roxy area where she chases you down and demands her eyes back. So it's like end of chapter 5. End of chapter 5 where Monty is in the water again, and you gotta jump over the boxes to escape him. Or, well, you don't have to, because I beat it jumpless. You can just run straight through like a scared little Cassie, and you'll be perfectly fine. Anyway, that's not the point. Monty gets electrocuted at the end of that chase. Well, I wouldn't call it a chase, but like, Monty gets electrocuted. Boom, never see him again. Monty's destroyed. There, fate of Monty, done. Aggressive. Then, Be's more aggressive, gets electrocuted, dies. The end. Moving on to Glamrock Chica. Glamrock Chica gets, just completely destroyed by Gregory in Security Breach. And it looks like by the time Ruin comes around, poor Chica doesn't even know what's going on, and she's just getting thrown around all the time. She has no idea what's going on. The only thing she does know how to do still is eat. Eat, and more. Food, eat. Anyway, fate of Chica. Basically, she just gets thrown around all over the place, everywhere and all. And eventually, the animatronic system can't cope with the amount of damage that's being caused. With, Chica just being malfunctioning all the time and just dropped wherever. Especially started chapter 3. I think going into the bakery area where she was like completely dropped into the recharge station. I think that's one of the things that led it so that I think that was one of, if not the last straw for Chica's animatronic system. Because by chapter 5 as well, in Roxy Raceway, Chica just walks around. She's like barely functional at this point. Walks into one of the bathrooms, deactivates, lies there. And you never see her for the rest of the game. Poor Chica, though, just does no idea what's going on and just gets thrown around all the time. Anyway, moving on to Roxy. Roxy's fate is a lot less depressing than the other three, because Roxy is at least still around. Roxy is obviously stuck under... I forgot what it's called. I think it's a forklift. I don't remember. Anyway, she's stuck under it. And you gotta deactivate her or something to get the last security thing. And it looks like she turns off. And it's deactivated. So you're like, oh, yep, cool. Okay, she'll be like the rest of them. And then, as you're about to get taken out by the mimic, boom, Roxy shows up to save you. And Roxy's like, Cassie, get out of here now before I don't know. Run, Cassie, run. And then it sounds like Roxy gets defeated, but not destroyed, because when just before the mimic shows up, you do hear a Roxy voice line. It's not 100% clear, though. It's not 100% clear whether Roxy survives that or not. But if she survives, we'll probably know in the sequel to FNAF Ruin, whether that's Help Wanted 2 or a different FNAF game. We will probably know whether Roxy's still around or not. But yeah, either way, because she's still stuck down there, either way, under the Pizzaplex, whether she survived or not. But Roxy is at least probably still around. It looks like it, but at the same time, the voice line right at the end of Roxy saying Cassie could be the mimic. Not 100% confirmed which one it is, but hey, I remain hopeful. I remain hopeful that Roxy is still around and there's at least one animatronic still around. So that's the main four. Main four done. I won't be talking about Glamrock Bonnie because he was destroyed before Ruin. You know what? Let's talk about Bonnie. We'll keep it really short though, because Bonnie was never seen until Ruin. So what it looks like is, little secrets that you can find in Security Breach. Hints that before Bonnie was destroyed, he went to Gator Golf. It's unclear whether Monty or someone else or whoever destroyed Bonnie. I think it's Monty, but Obviously, you can't really 100% prove it until you actually see the crime in itself. So, but I think it was Monty, like I said earlier in the video when I was talking about Monty's fate in Ruin. But yeah, Bonnie gets destroyed. He's hanging out in the back of Bonnie Bowl, just laying there. That's it. That's all that happens to Bonnie. And it seems like he was laying there since security breach. Like maybe a few staff moved him there, and he's just been sitting there ever since. That's the only time we ever see Bonnie. So Bonnie's done. No more talking about Bonnie. Anyway, moving on to the Sun and Moon. His fate is a lot more positive because Sun is, because it's eternal darkness, Sun is not active, it's Moon. But then you manage to reboot them and it becomes a mix of both. It becomes Eclipse and he's a good guy now. Cool. And he just hangs out in the daycare forever. We never see him again after that. So he just hangs out in the daycare. No matter how bad the fate of the rest of the animatronics are, just be hopeful and positive that we know that Sun and Moon are still around. And there's at least one animatronic that is still going. And who else is there? I don't think there's really anyone else. There's DJ Music Man, but you don't see him ever. And I don't think we really count DJ Music Man. Mini Music Man, we're not going to talk about because they're not important enough. And yeah, we can talk about the one that's in the vent, I guess. He's the same as normal, just chasing the player around. Just he only shows up once, and then it also turns out that there's more than one of the wind-up Music Man, because there's a whole load in Bonnie Bowl that ruin the player's life because they can't teleport through the map properly. But yeah, I think that's all the animatronics. It's Freddy, Bonnie, Chica, Roxy, Monty, Sun and Moon. Yeah, that's all of them. All the important ones anyway. But yeah. So that's the fate of the main animatronics in FNAF Ruin and what happens to them, basically, by the end of the DLC or by the time you see them last or that sort of thing. But yeah, that's where we're going to leave it for this episode. Be sure to like and subscribe if you enjoyed. Let me know in the comments below who your favorite Ruin animatronic is, and have an awesome rest of your day. Goodbye.